So I'm going to tell you all like it's good morning, good afternoon, and good evening and good night in some part of the world. So we are like about to start I think in the world the first time the students they are going to raise their voice. So I'm going to introduce our panelists. So we like they was got selected out of like thousands of applicants. We have Shirley Mapungu representing Kenya, and then we have my co-moderator Hasni Pera from Qatar, and then we have like Ravindi Kandaranachi representing Sri Lanka, and we have Ida Thornberg representing Finland, and we have Ashfaq Ahmad representing Sri Lanka again, and we have Sriram, Mr. Sriram from India. So we are expecting Emma. So Emma informed that she won't be able to join. Okay, so we are having our next participant representing Taiwan, Heather Yang. So Heather, so we have Heather Yang representing Taiwan. So welcome you all. So it will be a great thing to have you all on this webinar. So I think it's the first time we are going to have it. So we are experienced some technical errors from some part of the world, but don't worry, we are going to connect them and we are going to get the answers. And I'm going to be the representative for them and myself and Hasini. So Hasini, it's over to you. Like, so it's up to you.
Okay. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and maybe even good night, yes. So I'm Hasini, and I will be the child moderator for this meeting. So Heather, what is the current situation in Taiwan?
Okay, hi, I'm Heather. I'm a graduate from Democratic School, and now I am college student in Taiwan. So now in Taiwan, all the students will start their summer vacation within 1 week. And until now, we have 449 cases confirmed, but 438 already recovered. So start from April, almost 2 months that we don't have new confirmed cases are local, and all the new confirmed cases are all from abroad. Only new arrivals coming back to Taiwan, they have to do 14 days home quarantine alone. So which just means it's really help us to like make the cases lower and lower. And the other things are, I think, in my opinion, I think wearing the face mask are kind of our habit for Taiwanese people. So people used to wear masks, even they don't get cold or they don't feel bad. It's like our daily necessity. So in my point of view, I think the current situation in Taiwan are positive. But I still a little bit worry about when people start to enjoy their summer vacation. So the social distance might get hard to control. So maybe the things will get worse or not, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Right, thank you very much, Heather. So from Taiwan, so we are planning to move to Sri Lanka. So Ashwa, so what's the current situation in Sri Lanka at the moment?
Hello everyone, I'm Ashfaq Ahmed from Kandy, and I study in Colombo International School, Kandy. So according to many NGOs, Sri Lanka ranked among the top 5 in terms of the most effective responses towards defeating the COVID-19 virus, after several lockdowns and multiple restrictions by the government and careful monitoring on the hygiene of locals and precautionary actions taken by locals to minimize the spreading of the virus, Sri Lanka is currently at a great position when it comes to health and safety. Thus, recently, there are very few cases of the COVID-19 virus. This is a huge improvement from a month ago when cases were at its peak at a total of 2,042 cases back in May 15th. As of today, July 4th, the amount of daily cases have reduced amazingly, thus showing that the strategies undertaken by the Sri Lankan government has worked. Out of the 2,042 total cases, 73% of the infected have made full recovery, while only 11 have died due to having a very weak immune system. The remaining 27% are currently being quarantined and making very fast recoveries. However, one interesting factor is that nearly 88% of the infected are from abroad. They are Sri Lankans from abroad. For example, some arrived from Qatar, some from the Navy, and some from India as well. Many other precautions, and they all are making quick recoveries. Many other precautions taken by the government is ordering the closing of salons and gyms, because these have been noted to be the major hotspots for the spreading of the virus. Public gatherings, festivals, and they have all been banned from being conducted. As a result, cases for the coronavirus have been reduced a lot. Despite Sri Lanka being nearly immune to the disease, the government stressed upon the importance of using a face mask and has introduced many consequences, such as being quarantined for 2 weeks, and no one wants that. Hopefully, this would help reduce the risk of any further spreading of the virus. Sri Lanka's great resistance towards the virus has allowed elections to take place, and lifestyles of many people have come back to normal. Tourism is set to prosper at an unprecedented rate, with all hotel bookings being sold out to the hundreds of thousands of foreigners ready to visit Sri Lanka for a holiday. However, many claim that there is going to be a second outburst of the virus in Sri Lanka, and that many of the cases have been hidden so that elections could be held peacefully. But keep in mind that the test is not fully accurate. Only 70%, its accuracy is only 70%, which means that many with the disease could have not been identified, and vice versa. Thus, I firmly believe that there are still many people with the virus in Sri Lanka, and a clear conclusion cannot be made about Sri Lanka's future in terms of the virus. Thank you.
With that current situation, so I just want to move to Ravindi. So Ravindi also from Sri Lanka. Ravindi, we heard that you are going to reopen your schools in your country. So can you explain what you are going to do that?
Yeah, so I'm Ravindi from Sri Lanka. I study at Royal National School. So the first Sri Lankan corona case was reported on the beginning of March. So as soon as this was reported, the Ministry of Education took steps in order to close all the schools, and the schools were closed for nearly 3 months. And on 29th of June, they opened the schools, but only for the academic staff. And they hope to continue this in an orderly manner. So there have been many discussions and communiques over how the country should return to normalcy amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, and the student population in the country is now feeling pressurized with the indecisiveness on school reopening dates. So as I said before, the schools will be only open for the academic staff at first, the non-academic staff later, after which advanced level students and then the other students. So, however, the minister said that no decision has been taken as yet to reopen schools for grade 1s and 2s. So, in my opinion, the reopening of schools in phases is a good action taken by the government to avoid the spreading of this disease among the student population. Thank you.
Right. With that, since we had technical difficulties, I'm going to contact Sherlyn from Kenya from my other phone. So we'll see what she has to tell. Okay, so yeah. Hello, Sherlyn.
Hello.
Can you tell the current situation in Kenya at the moment?
At the moment, right now, the cases of COVID-19 are still increasing. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. So what she's telling is at the moment, the COVID-19 situation in Kenya it's increasing. So what else?
7,000 cases that we have faced.
So they have 7,000 cases at the moment, and is it keep on spreading?
Yeah.
So okay, so that's the situation in Kenya. So thank you very much, Shirley. So from that, Hasini, it's over to you.
Yes. Then from Kenya, let's check on the situation in Finland. Vida?
Okay, so we have 70,000 infected in Finland from the beginning of March. And the schools were closed on 17th of March, and they opened again on 14th of May. And they were kept open for two weeks, but it didn't have any bad effects. And our summer holiday started in the beginning of June, so now all the schools are closed. And we do not wear masks anywhere except maybe in southern Finland, and there are not at all cases in northern Finland. So that's the situation. Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir, you're muted.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So from Finland, so we are going to move into our neighbor, India. So we have Sriram with us. So Sriram, can you tell us the current situation in India at the moment?
Hello, I'm Sriram from India. The current situation in India is quite terrible because the first case happened in February 2020. Like two students from Wuhan, China, came into my state, that is Kerala, and they were they got cured very quickly, but the second impact was very was on this March, and it still continues as every other countries in the world. And it's hard to say, but it's true that the number of patients or deaths are increasing, and it makes living in India is quite dangerous right now at the moment. Although the masks and hand washes, sanitizers are forced to use, yet the number of patients are increasing. So,
Thank you very much, Sriram. So, but like since that now you said that the number of cases in India is rapidly increasing. So some like we can think that it might be the problem with the education system. Do you think that your education system provide enough guidance for their children to face such pandemic situations? What's your opinion about it?
no, it's no for me because the current education system is really compact, and what we have today is like three or four education systems. So it's quite hard to uh, guide people in a pandemic situation which is not experienced by any like people in this living in this century, because pandemic situation was in 1920 like black, so it's quite new for the people living in this existing in this century. So uh, the education system is not guiding or like for pandemic life. But and the main thing is the education system in India should be like improve more and more. because I live in as I said, I live in Kerala, and Kerala government gives more importance to the education and what healthcare. Other states like North North India are some part of North India are having like lower quality of education. Uh, there is a doubt about the teachers have a specific qualification in that. So that's the thing. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sriram. So, Hasini, now it's over to you.
Yes. Okay. So while all the other schools were closed immediately after the threat from the COVID-19, Taiwan tried to continue their education, right? So Heather, what is your opinion on this? And do you believe it was a successful implement?
Okay. I'm from Taiwan. Okay. So actually, COVID-19 starting in Taiwan very early. It People heard about it around January and start to feeling alert at that time. And so originally we will start our school just right after our Chinese New Year. It's around um, late January to late January. But because of the COVID-19, so we delayed our school time until March. So actually we delayed for the school around 2 weeks. And all the teacher and student have to wear, after we restart the school, all the teacher and student have to wear the mask at school. And also there have a lot of new rule for these situation. And also a lot of school try to use the online courses or distance teaching. And there is also a lot of for example, the new rule is like only student and staff can enter the school, and so parents or other people, they are not from the school, they can't go inside the school. And also they have to take the temperature before they enter the school, and so on. And I think it is a successful implement. And these successful implementation is based on three things in my point of view. First one is the government announced the school suspend in advance. So before the pandemic, we already delayed our school. And government announced new rule for the school. So, for example, if there is one cases in your school, one cases of the student or staff in your school, you have to all the students have to go home and take the distance teaching or online courses. And the third one is, I think the digital devices really helped a lot. So teacher and student can choose they want to use online courses or they want to go to school. So yeah, I think it's a successful implement.
Right. Thank you very much, Heather. So from Taiwan, we are moving to Finland. So Ida, like if you take in Finland, you have like digital devices, enough number of digital devices. You have online school as I know, like you have homeschooling is also like one of the accepted thing in Finland. So do you believe that this online school and homeschooling, can they replace the school system that we have at the moment? So do you think that this online school and homeschooling can replace the schools that we have in our education system?
Well, in my school, it was very successful because we work on computers and our teachers know how to do online schooling. But our school is like college, so we have been used to independent studies. But I think it's not working in many other schools because young people need more guidance and many people need the real life meetings and the routines, and many people don't have the devices like computers. And in Finland we have free food at school, so it's really, for many people, it's the only meal of the day or the warm meal, and they really need the food. So yeah, that's important. And many people need the like real life school for their mental health. So I don't think it's working for the long term solution, the online schooling. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ida. So Hassan, it's up to you. Yeah.
So moving on to Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, schools are reopening in stepwise. So is there any special reason to do this in stepwise? Ravindi?
Yes, so because it's a time where they will have to face a major risk, they are talking about the lives of nearly 5 million children who are at school attending age. So in order to take this step, they had continuous discussions on how the school system needs to prepare and what precautions and safety measures should be in place, so children could go back to school. So COVID-19 being a global threat, every country should act in a very responsible manner as far as considering the reopening of schools and universities. So Sri Lanka handles the COVID-19 situation in a remarkable manner, and reopening of schools should be conducted without leaving room for any form of adverse situation. As the health and defense sectors are doing their part in a remarkable manner, other sectors, including education sectors, should be extremely considerate the safety of thousands of students who attend school throughout the island. So sanitation arrangements are in place to the schools to be reopened to ensure students step into school premises cleaning themselves cautiously. So when we can continue this in a stepwise manner, it is very easy to the children to adjust to the arrangement and surrounding at school. And also arrangements have also been made to maintain the social distancing within the school premises.
Thank you, Ravindi. On to you, Nuam.
Go for Ashfaq. So Ashfaq, so in Sri Lanka, what are the strategies you have taken to continue the learning process when the lockdown took place?
So as of this date, schools have started to do online classes, which follows the same timetable as previous academic years with 2 breaks on the platform Zoom. Due to the vast variety of teachers and departments, especially during these unprecedented times, schools have shortened the duration of a lesson to about 40 minutes. So that way it's much more convenient for all of the students in the school. And many international schools have commenced online schools from about a month ago in May, and are providing internet facilities and laptops to children for a cheaper price, and school fees can be paid by installment basis as well. Not only international schools, but government schools as well. They have started online schooling on the app Microsoft Teams, which is linked to applications like Microsoft Notes, which gives students direct access to tutorials and assignments and homework, thus giving students the best and the most safest educational experience. However, a successful education cannot be applied to all schools and all of Sri Lanka, as many of the schools in poverty-stricken areas do not have financial ability and the facilities to be educated during the lockdown. In Sri Lanka, students living in areas such as Mullaitiwa, Manar, and Kilinochchi have no way of contacting any teacher, especially during a time where physical contact was prohibited. Many of these students spend their time at home with almost no education, and there is almost nothing that they could do about it. And 60% of the households with school-age children have no connection to the internet. And out of that 40% that had connection to the internet, 90% of them were mobile phone networks. And as we all know, they're not always stable, which can lead to internet lags, glitches, and ultimately a not so perfect online experience. Also, the primary mode of distance education, especially during these times, was the teacher sending tutors to students for them to self-study, but then and for their parents to contribute a bit. But this unfortunately does not give justice to the term teaching, in my opinion, as even parents who are teachers struggle to teach their own children. So without proper face-to-face communication from a tutor, students cannot understand what they have learned without any proper guidance. Yes, of course, these are possible in apps like Zoom, as mentioned before, but a majority of students in Sri Lanka do not have access to such facilities and have to resort to no education or being taught in a way that is really unproductive. However, the efforts of the government towards these students cannot be ignored. Children from grade 6 to 11 in poverty-stricken schools are given textbooks for free and have been given technical education to families from some tech experts who see potential in using SD cards for distributing content during conditions with no internet. So, however, the future does seem bright for Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka's education, especially during such circumstances like this. 97% of the houses have connection to internet, have mobile phones, but less than 50% have access to internet. However, the government is said to be working on making internet connection affordable by nearly every household in Sri Lanka. So let's just hope for the best.
Thank you very much, Ashfaq. So Hasini, you had a question to Shirley. So I'm her communicate at the moment. So you can ask the question. I'll pass it to her.
Okay. So as Ashfaq mentioned earlier, that one of the major problems in the world is to continue online education with the lack of digital devices and network coverage, because not everyone in the world has free access to all of this. So Shirley, what are the steps that Kenya has taken to overcome such challenges?
Yes, Shirley, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, we have come up with a request to the government, especially the Minister of Education, to locate platforms so that those who don't have phones and televisions to get in touch, and also locate free Wi-Fi, since not everyone can afford to buy internet bundles. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Shirley. So what Shirley says is like what they have done is they have made a request to the government. So for asking for like Wi-Fi connection, the government's try to stabilize Wi-Fi hotspots around the country. As well as she's saying that so even though they don't have the online connection, but they were practicing the life skills. The parents were teaching their children how to cook and how to do the agriculture. Those type of things they were learning. So they said she said that like the learning process did not damage during their lockdown period. So they are trying to bring it up. Okay, from that, Hasini, it's over to you.
Yes. Some say that there was an increase in quality outputs on education, such as using digital devices on teaching and learning. Do you agree this from your experience in Sri Lanka, Ravindi?
Yes, indeed, there was a vast increase in using of the digital devices in Sri Lanka. So Corona has changed our lifestyle, and this was a new experience for all the teachers and the students to do online classes. So usage of digital devices has helped the education to continue rather than stopping due to various unavoidable reasons such as Corona. So, as it was said by Ashfaq, we have many connection problems, and the regional areas in Sri Lanka, those students do not have the facility to continue with education. And this concept of continuing education online or doing studies using digital devices is a very productive way, which will not stop the education process, but this cannot be carried out in the whole country due to the various issues. Thank you.
Okay, and on to you, Numan.
Okay, so this is my son's. Okay. Okay, now my next question goes to Shirley. So some argue that doing online lessons will be a disadvantage. So this question goes for like both Shirley as well as Sriram. So if I'll get first, I'll get the answer from Shirley. Some argue that doing online lessons will be a disadvantage for students who don't have financial strength and afford digital devices. So do you agree with this? And what your suggestions to overcome this? What is your suggestion? Shirley?
I'll suggest that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I'll suggest that students who don't have access to phones or televisions, maybe they'll just as I've said, the government should help them. The government should locate televisions for them, and also equip them with free Wi-Fi to help them in education, to acquire education skills.
Right. So what Shirley is requesting is, so to overcome this, the government should allocate televisions as well as Wi-Fi facilities to like the students can do their studies properly. Shirley, how do you have any more ideas, suggestions?
Um,
So that's clear, right? That's what you meant to right there, right?
and,
Okay. She's requesting
and
from
also,
yeah.
and those students that maybe don't have access to phones, they can visit their schools to get some more past papers and more test papers for them to revise and get knowledge in whatever they've missed since we've not been going to school.
So what she says that the students who does not have digital devices, they can visit schools and get the resources. So we have like books and test papers. So she said like we can use those documents for their learning process. Right. Thank you very much, Sherlyn. So I am asking the same question from Sriram. Sriram from India. So what is your idea about it, Sriram? Sriram, I think you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello? Hello?
So you're muted. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Sriram, we can hear you.
Uh, so I totally agree to that because I can still see children in my state itself who are not able to attend these classes. Although the government in my state, Kerala government, providing these lessons or classes through their educational channels to taught more students who don't have access to these phones, laptops, or internet, etc. But still, uh, I think the statistics say that around 10,000 students are still unable to access even a TV. Uh, uh, Due to this fact only, a child or a girl committed suicide in my state itself due to lack of uh, mobile network. Yes, yeah. lack of TV and a mobile. So it's this same situation for many of students who can't afford these. Although the political parties or organizational like NGOs are providing or sponsoring TVs, mobile phones, uh, there is the number is still on. Like uh, so, I think uh, the schools or the kindergartens, we have kindergartens in all around like places. So these institutions should arrange like for a screening or something, which could really like would be an advantage to the uh, unprivileged kids, like what to say. It's just I am back in Kerala only, but it's not the same in all over the India. Uh, Kerala has like literacy rate of 7 point something, but in other parts of India, like in the rural areas, which is where the civilization or like urbanization is not yet come, they have a problem of this online education, or we are not sure about it. Like they are getting online classes, or they could access these resources to attain knowledge, or you know, yeah. So I uh, definitely agree to the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sriram. The next question is for both Heather and Ashfaq. Some argue that using digital devices frequently will result in addiction, especially the young generation. So, do you agree with this? And if so, what would be the strategies or the steps that you would take to prevent such situations? Go ahead, Heather.
Okay. I don't really agree that digital devices will make the young generation get addiction. I think addicted or not, most of time is the definition from the other, not from themselves. So I will not say addiction, but I think the games or video on internet is getting fancy and fancy. So when the young generation are used to it, it will be hard for them to find other interests. And because when they compare these with other things, they will feel boring. So in my point of view, I think it's necessary to set a limit on the digital devices which you are going to give to the young people. But for example, you can set the time limits or the like set the limits in YouTube or something like that. Make them or like you can only use this device within 1 hour, and then you have to, and then you have to like take break for 15 minutes or something like that, so on. And but the other important things for me, I think, is to try to help them explore more diversity in their early childhood, like uh, create more opportunity without the digital devices. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Heather. And on to Ashfaq. What are your views on the topic?
Well, I actually have the opposite point of view. I actually do think it's addictive. And I feel like I speak for almost all teenagers around the world when I say that digital devices are addictive. my household has many digital devices such as gaming consoles, my iPhone, my mother's phone, my laptop. These are all multifunctional devices that allow us to talk to friends, play video games, watch movies on Netflix, and many other functions that are just simply addictive. My iPhone shows that my average screen time per day is 10 hours and 24 minutes. That too only in my iPhone. And when you add the minimum 3 hours I spend on playing my game console, it is quite shocking that I only have 10 hours to sleep, do my chores, study, eat. Just is a mess. But keep in mind, previously about 10 years ago, digital devices did exist, but teenagers were not at all attached to it like nowadays. But one interesting difference comes to mind is that nowadays there are a variety of software such as games, and there are many successful influencers that have used these softwares to come to a successful point in life. And so for example, there's like a really popular gamer. I'm not sure if you heard of him. His name is Ninja, and he's one of the most well reputed gamers out there, and he earns $30 million a year just from one endorsement. Whereas a basketball player who is an MVP caliber player earned $26 million after playing several games throughout the year. Therefore, isn't there, so teenagers are more motivated to stay addicted to to digital devices, and that just makes it even worse. So due to this, there's many results of stress, disease like obesity, and even corruption, which I find is a really huge problem. Therefore, I feel like this addiction should be stopped, and it can be stopped. Here are some ways. So we can advertise the consequences of overusing digital devices and showing how the constant hard work put into every game teenagers play will not be worth it, as it is very rare that gaming content is monetizable unless you have a really great personality. Also, we can advertise the importance and the benefit of sport, something that's good for the body. For example, showing the public how going for jogs every day for a year can reduce cell aging by 9 years, and contrasting it with how being exposed to screens can kill millions of cells just by playing it for a month. Teenagers should be shown how many of the all-time great athletes such as LeBron James, Michael Jordan contribute majority of their time towards basketball, baseball, and improving their craft. And they spend like a minimum of 3 hours a day on their mobile phones, on social media, only to address very important issues like political issues. But don't get me wrong, digital devices are important. But there should be a balance between sleeping, doing your chores, studying, and using digital devices. So yeah, that's my point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ashfaq. And now in Finland, they're trying to introduce this Lido concept to the classroom. What is the reason to think of such new learning station, and what was the vacuum you're trying to fill in Finnish education system, Lida?
Well, Lido is a device for the teacher. It helps teacher organizing the tasks for the students. And in every morning, the teacher will put the tasks in the Lido pockets. And then every student can study in their own speed. Like fast learning students can do their tasks more fastly, and slow students can get teachers' help. So, and they can also study different subjects at the same time. Like some students can study biology, or some students can study math. So every student can learn in their own speed. And the Lido system also has the sports center. And if students are tired, or they can't concentrate, or maybe they have too much energy, they can take a sport break. And the studies tell that sports help learning. So when they can do a little boxing or gymnastics in the class, they can study better. and they don't bother other students if they have too much energy or they are bored or can't concentrate. So that's the point. Thank you.
Thank you, Lida. And on to Nuam.
Right. Thank you very much, Hasini. So before moving to the next one, so that's our final session. I would like to request Shirley to like turn on her like camera, so because we want to take a selfie together, because so that's what we have to do. So I'll try to contact Shirley. So we'll try to contact her, because like that shows that the asymmetry of the distribution of facilities in the world. So we have like some people like, if we have like all the facilities, and some part of the world they are finding it really difficult to connect us. So that's the reality. So hello, Shirley, can you come to Zoom and turn on your camera? So we want to like take a selfie with you.
At the Zoom, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Zoom, just to come, like we want to take a picture. That's all with you. So just come to Zoom and like we want to have a selfie.
What if I send you my picture right here on WhatsApp?
No, like we want to like take everyone together. So just come to Zoom. That's it. Like even you can't hear us. All right, I can hear you. I can see you in one of the. I can see one of your teacher. So if you come to that screen, that will be great. Okay. So into that screen. So so are you in there?
Yes.
But so did you log into Zoom?
Yeah.
So we are trying to. Okay, so Sherling is trying to connect with us. So Sherling, try to come into like screen as soon as you come. So I'll just pause the session. We'll take a selfie together. All right. So before that, like I would like to apologize. So I just mentioned that like they were doing their education very like really good in Kenya, but like so what she's telling is like it's they are having a tough time. So in Kenya as well as like all around the world are like we have Shirley with us. So everyone, so you are going to smile, right? Right. So okay, three. Okay, yes, Ashfaq. Ashfaq, how many? Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that.
sir. Yeah.
Okay. So we have three, two, one. Peace. Okay. So yes. All right. So we took. So you can also take your selfies. So
So can I take one?
yeah, you can take your selfies also.
All
Like
right, all right.
okay. So you can take your like your memory. So right. I think we have enough. Okay. Right. Thank you very much, Shirley. So this is the last
All right.
question for me. Last question from me.
Okay.
It's okay. So it says that any like final comment that you want to tell. So I contacted Shirley. So I asked what's her final comment. She said that yes, it is a tough time for Kenya at the moment. But as Kenyan students, they are not going to give up. So they are going to continue their learning process, no matter what's going to happen, and they will stick together and work hard, and they will like work as one country, one team, to like come up with this difficult situation. And so she's asking from her friends all around the world, so stay home and stay safe. And she said that like this pandemic will come to an end, so till that they are not going to give up. So she said like Kenyans, they don't usually give up, so they are going to like fight together to defeat this pandemic. So that's the like our like message from Kenya. So I would like to have message from all the other countries also. So for that, I will give it to Hasini. Hasini, is over to you. And also like audience, if you have any questions, so we'll take the question and answers at the end. So if you have any questions to ask from these children, so you can put it in a question and answer box. So we are like happy to contact them and get the answers. Like, thank you very much. Hasini, over to you.
Okay, so as Nuan said, any other comments on any of the changes you would like to see in your education system to have a positive impact? First, Sriram.
In India, the education system is being confused. Like, although we have the education system ranges from the the KG section to the 12th grade in the school and other in college. These till 10th, we study all the things like English, languages, science, social science, and GK and other things. So uh, I I reckon that um, to certain grade, these kids or students have to be taught these main things like what they should know in their life, like in science or their history, their political aspects of their country or things. Then they have to they have to be provided the chance on knowing or realizing what they really want. Like, mm, I'm in a college right now, and I feel what I'm studying right now is not my really thing, and I'm confused with what should I do in future. So I'm facing that situation in this age too. So I can't think of that situation in a kid or a school-going student. Uh, so I really, really wish to like they get the chance to know what they really want. So like they need to acquire knowledge in photography. They can go to that like that. And if they are interested in music singing, music production like that, they can go to that. Like after 10th grade, they without diverting them into science stream, commerce stream, and art stream, it would be better and it would lead to a more powerful generation of students or citizens if they provide or if they get the chance to choose what they want. Thank you.
Thank you, Sriram. On to Shirley. What's her take on the topic? Shirley.
Hasani, that's the Charlene's idea. So what's the idea is like, so they as Kenya, like they should work together, and they are expecting like more digital devices because to support their students to continue their learning process. That's another thing. So and also like she's saying that it doesn't matter what happens. So the students in Kenya, they are trying to continue their education process, and she would like to see like if they had more digital devices and facilities, not they don't want like a personal one, at least in schools like near schools, if they had good facilities and digital devices established for them, they will be able to continue the education. That's her expectation. So I hope like the people who are like seeing this webinar like around the world, so we'll consider about such schools around the world. Like you don't have to go far away, sometimes it might be in your own country, so you can help them to continue the education in the world. Like, thank you very much. So that's Sherlin's view of this situation.
Thank you. And now Lida. Any final comment on the changes you would like to see in your education system to have a positive impact?
Well, I think some people still need, at least teachers, they still need more like computer skills so they could prepare for these kind of situations and do online schooling. And we still need more equality and cultural diversity. And in Finland, boys need more special support in reading and writing because the studies have shown that their results are getting worse. And also countryside schools need more support in Finland so that people living in small towns can get their education and they don't have to travel that far. And when the schools are small, then teachers have more time to help everybody when they need help. So I think these changes would be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lida. And Ravindi, do you have any final comments on the changes you would like to see in the education system in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so as a young generation of Sri Lanka, so we'd like to see a change in the education system. So in Sri Lanka, it's a very tough competition between the students from grade 1 to grade 13. So I'd like to change this, like from grade 1 to 5, they can have their foundation, like they can learn every subject they need. And from grade 5 onwards, they can be given a chance to choose one stream that they need to learn in order to achieve their dream. So if we change into that education system, we can see many new inventions and stuff in the future. And also we can use new techniques in teaching, so as online classes, so we can use new techniques. And as in Sri Lanka, we have many resources. We can take the benefits and make new things. And also, I'd like if teachers could encourage the students to do new inventions. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ravindi. And Heather, what about you?
Okay, I have two short-term things I would like to see and one long-term things. First one is I think after COVID-19 pandemic, people are more getting used to use the digital devices. So I think maybe there can be more and more open resources like this distant teaching or online courses that are open to the public, so the learner can choose the lesson from different college or different platforms to join. And second one is because I'm the college student, so I hope that the college student can get more flexibility in choosing staying at campus or not. For example, if I want to join a conference in another city, not in our city, maybe I can leave school for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, and then I can use the online courses or distant teaching in the same time. And the long-term future is I hope that there can be more and more people know about democratic education and try to use democratic education's spirit to in their daily life. And also I hope there can be democratic college in our country. Yeah.
Thank you, Heather. Finally, Ashfaq, what do you think?
Yeah, so currently the literacy rate in Sri Lanka is about 96%, which is truly remarkable. And also global education systems and companies such as Pearson, Cambridge, and Oxford are constantly being updated with new specifications. And many international schools and government schools in Sri Lanka really have managed to stay up to date and help guide students towards the right direction. However, these are only the schools that are well financed and given favorizations by the government. However, schools in areas such as Trincomalee and many poverty-stricken areas actually do not have the teachers that are qualified enough to teach students the appropriate syllabus that will help them secure respectable and a well-paid profession in the future, especially at a time when there is endless competition for jobs. And also what I believe that the strategies that the government, that the education systems can do is not just promote academics like books and chemistry, physics, those, but also give additional support to physical education, education of sport. Like those, there are many hidden talents in people, and the standard of sport in Sri Lanka is rather low. It was really high before for cricket, but now it's gone down. And it is quite sad to see that there are very few Sri Lankans that actually make it to the final stage, like the Olympics. While there are many that aren't just good enough to compete with people of other nationalities, such as USA, Jamaica, South Africa, and even India, that are simply dominating the sports world. We want to see Sri Lanka reach that peak of success too. And moving on, Sri Lanka's education system seemed to overlook the importance of music as well and entertainment. However, have you realized that different countries have contributed a large amount to the music industry, which is currently a multi-billion-dollar industry? You have heard of Indonesian pop, American hip hop, reggae, and Korean pop too. But these are all foreign genres. Of course, Sri Lankans know about Baila and Candian music, but it's very rare that you see a foreigner actually even hear about it. But when they do hear it, they love it. So therefore, I see a lot of potential that, and I feel like we should encourage more students to take the musical path of success. And one day they will be able to make it to the top. Of course, these suggestions might be too far-fetched, but then little by little, as we climb this mountain of success, we will reach the top. Concluding, I feel that education systems should not only focus on like actual literacy, like chemistry, accounting, whether to be a doctor or an engineer. There's a wide range of possible outcomes for any person. So therefore, I feel like we should be more diverse in how we encourage students to how we encourage students to lead their future. And I want Sri Lanka, so that way Sri Lanka will not just be known as a place for a holiday destination, but also because it is a place where a lot of multi-talented and intelligent people live. This way, not only will we be able to make a positive impact to Sri Lanka, but all around the world as well. So yeah, that's my guess.
Thank you, Ashfaq. And moving on to Nuan.
Right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So today, like we have like few questions. So one, like there are like many questions. So I just select only 3 questions. So one is like they're asking, can you explain more about Finland education system? Like so, it will be a huge topic. So on Monday, we are going to have Marko Koskinen, a Finnish educator, in the session for 2 hours. So if you will get more ideas. Ida, do you want to like tell any ideas about the Finnish education system? So in a quick, so how about Finnish education? Like they say it's the best. So why is best? So any idea? Like quick. So we would like to again introduce Ida as one of the entrepreneur like in Finnish education system. She has her own learning mechanism called Liadu. So we are having such young individuals there. So Ida, you want to comment anything about this question?
Mm, well, I think I should learn more about the education system in other countries, so I can really reflect how different they are. Because for me, this is the only system I know, so I can't really tell what's the difference. But at least I think one thing that is very good for in Finnish system is that we are supported, very well supported for entrepreneuring, so we can make our own business in high school or already in middle school or any school. So we can make business out of anything, and we can start earning money out of our own skills. And at the same time, we can go to school. So that's very good, I think.
All right. Thank you very much, Ida. So we have another question. So I would like to put it forward to Hasini. So Hasini, there was a question because like she was like doing the moderating part. So we want like knowledge from Kata also into this like series. So there's a question from the audience. It's asked like, what your idea about conducting practical sessions online? So is it success or not?
Practical as in experiments. If we had to do experiments online and things like that, I mean, if we could do it through Zoom, but with a safe distance to the actual device, then yes, it will actually be very successful. So that totally depends on the internet connection and all that. But otherwise, if you use the practicals on Zoom, that would actually be very successful. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So that's what you're going to have. So I would like to thank individually. So I would like to thank Hasani Pereira from Qatar. So she was like working for this session for long, like doing all the like homework and all the stuff. So thank you very much, Hasini. Then Ravindi. So Ravindi from Kurunagala, Sri Lanka. So thank you very much, Ravindi. With the short notice, we were like able to get her into the field. And Ida from Finland. So thank you very much. So she was also supportive. And the first way, as soon as like we published it, so she was like she came forward and she was willing to take part. And Heather, so she's having a busy schedule these days, plenty of exams, but even though she managed to like spare some time for this workshop. And Ashwak, so thank you very much. Ashwak also like has done a lot of research and found plenty of details like to getting prepared for this one. And we have Sriram. So thank you very much, Sriram from India. So he's also like as soon as we can like contact him. So he was like ready for like go for it and represent his country. And finally, I would like to thank Kennedy Omandi. That's the teacher from Shirley. Actually, Shirley does not have Wi-Fi facilities. So her teacher walked all the way to her place and with his smartphone device. And then only she was like able to contact us with this situation. So thank you very much. Like thank you very much for everyone. So like your voice is like really loud. So then the next things I think the educators and the decision makers, policy makers, they should hear for these children. So I think you will be heard and your like request might be successful. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much for joining. So thank you very much for our audience also. I think we had almost 500 like live watchers at the moment. So thank you very much for the audience who have joined with us in Facebook. So thank you very much for like and thank you everyone. So I can't say whether it's have a good day. So that's the only thing we can say because some of them are like okay. Okay, thank you very much everyone. So
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.